Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the exercise, where we're going to look at the DSO data, the demographic data by statistical area. First of all, let's import the DSO file. So we click on Catalog and we click on this database here. We expand it to find the actual data layer that we're interested in, which is this one, and we drag it into the project. It seems now as if either SCB or S3 have made some sort of update. I'm not sure who's done what. I suspect SCB has changed how they save the geopackage file. Now it works, we can read it in. I've left in the instructions how you can deal with an error that previous versions would have thrown up when trying to import this DSO file. It created an error previously, which we had to solve by going via QGIS and just re-exporting the geopackage, doing nothing more than that, and it worked. Now we don't need to do that step. We've got the data straight in, so don't worry about that. Let's have a look at it. If we right click on this, we can look at the attribute table, and we can see that we have again the usual columns with the FID and the geom, and then we have this UUID. Don't worry about that, it's another unique identifier. The thing we're interested in is really this DSO, which is this demographic area, whereby the first two digits are the same as the county from which the DSO area is in. And then we have which commune it happens to be in, which municipality, and then we have the names for these, and then we have this again superfluous column with the version number of this product. That could just be at it says up there 2018 version 2. Yeah, doesn't matter. So we've got this information, DSO, and then these bits of information. This is really the one we're interested in. Let's close that for now. And then we need to go to SCB and start downloading data. So I have made some notes on all of this to see what's happening. No, we're not going to be able to do that because OBS has decided not to. Fair enough. So I made notes, you make notes, but let's just crack on with this because this is taking too much time to record for you. Here are the instructions. We go to the web page for the SCB, click on Find Statistics, and then we want to go to our regional statistics and maps, and then we want this geodata, open geodata, and then we want this DSO in the statistical database. Click on that. And then we want tables, and we want the population data, and we want the population by region, age, and gender for each year. Click on that, and we get to this page. And let's just have a look at this. We want to choose it by the DSO. Yeah, and there are lots of values, so let's just click there and search. We need to separate out these different values. Which ones do we want? Well, if we return now to this, if we could open the table, attribute table there, and try and find Gävle or Uppsala in here, because those are the two that we're after. But yeah, there's a whole lot of data in here, and that could take a while. Instead, if we just sort of click somewhere, click there, that's Gävle. That's got the LAN of 21, that's what we're interested in. That's the same as this. The first two numbers in this DSO, 21, comes from the county. And we know that this is Uppsala, so let's click there. Yeah, that's Uppsala, LAN 03. Good. So 21 and 03, they're the two counties that we want to look for. So if we return now to our database search tool, and we're going to search in the beginning of the DSO text. That's what we're searching through. And we'll go for 03 to begin with, and we click on search, and we get 5 pages of data. It would be nice if we could just shove all of this data down here, all 5 pages at once, but we can't. We have to do it page by page. So I'm going to show you how to do a couple of pages and then I'll probably speed the rest of the film up whilst doing that, because it's really quite dull. But we mark there, we go down to there, we shift, mark all of those, and then we press that little arrow there, shove them down there. Then we go to the next page, page 2, mark the next row, and we go down to there, mark them all, shove them down there. Now we've got 100, that makes sense. And now I'll probably from now on speed up. So that's given us the 238 values for that area, and then we then click here, mark 21, do a new search. That all ends up in there, and then we need to do the same thing again. So speed up after this. So now we've now got 410 values. So we can click on OK. 410 values out of the potential 5,984. That's a number we can check against in our data, in our DSO file, our polygon file if you want. Mark total and 21. And then you can, if you want, check what this is going to look like there, but otherwise just go straight to Excel, click on continue, and then we save it here in Excel. And this first part of the name tells us what sort of data we have, if you actually know what that means. Click on save, and the file is saved. There are other ways of doing this. This has been a rather clumsy way of getting hold of data. There are other ways of sorting data. We could have sorted this out in ArcGIS later, just downloaded everything, all 5,984 rows. I'm showing you this way because we're going to do things, we're going to look at different tools, we're going to examine different ways of doing things rather than doing it the quickest, simplest way, which I know would be rather convenient, but then you don't see the different ways of doing things. Sorry. So let's go back to here, and we want to import the data into our GIS. Unfortunately, the data isn't really in the right state to do that just yet. So let's click on here. We can see this is the downloaded file. The first thing I'm going to do with this, because we're going to edit it, rather than leaving it in its raw state, right click on there, we'll click on copy, and we'll go over to exercise 3, and we'll click paste in there. And then we'll open this in here. And it's not open for editing. I'll tell you what, let's close that again, and then just right click on it and change the name, and we'll shove a little bit of an, should do that E on the M there. That says this is an edited file. We haven't edited it yet, but we've now said we're in our exercise 3 folder. All of these things are open for editing, but just to really make the point, we'll put an E on the end. So we now open up the file, enable editing, and there are a couple of things we need to do. Here we have our DSO numbers, so let's just type in DSO there. That we can call POP or BEF or whatever we want to call it, population there. These two columns we do not need, they do nothing for us. So let's just right click on that and click on delete. These two rows we don't need. So mark those, right click there, click on delete, they're gone. And then we need to go right down to the bottom because there's some stuff that I normally want you to keep hold of and have, but right now we want to get rid of, and that's metadata. All of this is metadata, which is good, but right now we just want to get it out of this file, so let's delete that. It's still in the original file that we've saved under raw data, so if you need to find out what that stuff is, you can just go to there. But for now, we have this tidied up file. So let's just save that. That's now been saved. This is our edited file. We've just got this headers up here, DSO, POP, the names of each DSO area and the population in them, and nothing at the bottom. So that was that. If we just quickly compare that, say with the raw data file, which we had in here, I open that. So that's still got everything in it. And then we look down and here's all that metadata. We can close that. So we have a copy, that's the original data in our raw data file, and then in the project file folder we have our edited data. Good. So now we need to import that into the project. So we go to Catalog, and we have that under It's not there, we want it in the exercise 3 folder and we can't see it. So we have to right click. We have to right click on there and we go refresh and it turns up. We also need to expand it now once it's there, because Excel files can contain multiple sheets and we need to specify which sheet it is we're interested in. So we mark that one, we right click it and we say add to current map. And then it then gets added down there. Next step, let's just go here and then we want to join. So this is the DSO file and we're going to join it. So we click on joins and relates, add join. This is the DSO file here. We're going to join to this file. We're going to use the DSO field. That's where it's going to find the information, the keys, that says what looks the same in the other file, and it's going to be the DSO. Now here's a little step we could take, but we're not going to because I'm evil and going to make you do some extra work. We could remove this tick, but let's not. We just click on run instead. You click on run, and now when we look at this this DSO file, click on the attribute table, we've got all these columns, and it looks like there's nothing in them, but this just because we didn't import this data. If we were to try and find a 03 or a 21, we would see population data. That we'll get to in the next video, I think. We'll stop right there.